Alright, let's talk now about one of the biggest pain in the ass of trance production, which is the bass. Bass is always a little bit of a problem to make, as it usually has like 3 or 4 layers and different sequences. There's main bass, low bass, high bass, mid bass, stuff like that. It's always a mess to make a bass. So let's have a listen at the bass in this track. It's a pretty wide bass, and let's go into better details. So this is the whole file, like all the bass are put together in a same file, but here I have I just do that to save a little bit of CPU. I normally don't do that. Usually have all the layers playing, but as you can tell, this remix was pretty heavy for my CPU, so I had to render some files. Anyway, so these are the 2 bass. Should be a third one as well that I can't see. Oh, here it is, Voyager. Okay, let's just move it here. This one has a filter, so let's get rid of it for a second. So this one. Okay. So you have these 3 bass sounds. There were actually 4, but one is missing. So we have the main bass, the very boomy and very fat one that comes from a Moog Voyager. So it's a hardware synthesizer. Pretty fat. Then we have this one that is from Silent. As you can hear, this is a little bit wider, has a little bit of a delay. So yeah, we have a little bit of delay. It's probably a little bit of a Q compression. And then we have this chord bass. Which that has no bass, pretty much. It's just it plays in the middle frequency range, and it's pretty wide, so it gives our bass the wideness that we need, that this Moog bass doesn't do. And all together, once again, they play this. So we can put kick on. Now, of course, they sound a little bit shitty as we don't have any other effect. So what happens in the bass here? We have, well, that's the filter, and we have a little bit of a low cut. It's probably gonna look weird for some of you, but it's something that I do very, very often. By getting rid of some of the low frequency, the sub frequencies, I create a little bit more space between the kick and the bass, so we don't have the kick disturbing the bass, and the bass doesn't disturb the kick either. So let's. Oh, sorry. Okay, no. You probably can't really tell the difference, but if you try that with your tracks, I swear to God, it'll make a little bit of difference. Of course, this low cut must be very, very precise. Just a little bit of low cut, for example, here it cuts the 43 from 43 Hz to 0. It's not much. Don't go over it. If you start cutting the 60 Hz, you probably can tell a little bit of difference. So just do not exaggerate. And of course, always use your ears. Okay, so that was the bass part. As you can see, that was pretty easy. I usually have like 5 layers of bass, but there's a very easy concept, and once again, it's all about balancing. In this case, it's not volume, it's not panning, but it's about the frequencies. So if we can split the various frequencies of our bass, for example, this is the very bass, the very low frequency. This is kind of a low mid-range, and this is high mid-range. So let's play them again, one by one. This is very low and kind of a mono sounding. This is not so low, and it's a little bit wider, has a delay over it. And this is very wide and has no low bass. But when they sound together, they come as a single sound, which is well balanced, has the good stereo, and I think it works pretty good. Let's talk about the piano. In this track, the piano, as pretty much every 7 Scars track, comes from the XS24. It's the preset called Grand Piano. It's in the factory presets. And yeah, of course we have a little bit of compression and EQ. If you notice here, there is a low cut. And this is a very important thing for the mixes, using low cut in the right elements, of course, in the elements where you can use it, like piano or a lead, basically all the elements that doesn't have a very important low frequency part. Yeah, I usually cut their low frequency, and why do I do that? It's pretty simple. By doing this, I clean up all the bass and boomy frequencies that are in each and every sound that you can't really hear, but they going to add some dirt to the mix. So by removing that, you can have more space in your tracks and in your mix. You have more headroom, and the sound doesn't really change much. So if we play the piano, so here all you can see from the spectrum, all the frequency are cut below the 320 Hz. And if we take off the filter, I'm not sure you can hear it in the YouTube video, but there was just a little bit of boomy, disturbing bass. Maybe if I do that. $320. So it's just a click. It's something that we don't really need.